What is the role of religion in our ever-changing world? From the NewsChannel 5 network, this is Issues of Faith.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Issues of Faith. It has certainly been a difficult period here. We've had the tornado, we've had the coronavirus, we've had all manner of difficulties. And so we want to take this opportunity on this show to talk specifically about the tornado and the damage in one part of our city, North Nashville. We are happy to have with us Reverend Enoch Fuzz. He's the pastor of Corinthian Baptist Church there in North Nashville. Pastor Fuzz, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I've been out there. The devastation all over Nashville and, of course, all over Middle Tennessee is terrible. But in North Nashville, it's really bad. And I just wanted to ask you, what have you seen? Kind of how has this impacted churches? What have you seen there in North Nashville?
You know, I'm 64 years old. What I've seen is something I've never seen before. On my way here today, we stopped at one of the churches. And as we were driving by, we saw all these other places. And it's overwhelming because how can I help? That's my friend. Oh my God, look at these churches gone. And to see Mount Bethel Baptist Church gone, to see Hopewell Baptist Church, Mount Hopewell on Monroe, I went by and spoke to their pastor and took another pastor there to see. They're going to be out of that place. They're displaced for years, or at least a year. I mean, there's months ahead that those poor people are traumatized by this. And I can name so many of the other churches that need help that, you know, it's beyond just getting their buildings back. There's got to be some traumatizing stuff that's happening to people. And so being one of the things I want to think about is, and it's important, North Nashville, but I want us to have a mindset where we're thinking about Nashville. It's all over Nashville. I saw East Nashville. And we're having some churches in East Nashville too. Then we had a couple of churches that were not able to help. And as soon as I would say, wow, I can't do everybody, somebody walks up and says, hey, Reverend, show us where we can help. We want to do something. Like one company called...
Something big.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that, how people can help, how churches can help, how companies can help. But you just mentioned a few churches right there in North Nashville. They're not mega churches. We're not talking about mega churches. We're talking about churches that are the
under 100 people on Sundays.
Right. They're the fabric of the community.
Mm-hmm.
They've been there a long time, and they're the fabric of the community. A storm like this, what danger does it put them in of maybe not making it?
Okay, that's a good point you make, because a company that called and said, what can we do? And I told him, hey, let's help these churches. He said, that's great, because these churches are the backbone. And so my church is a small church, and I know these pastors in these churches. I know how many people come to us daily. They want meeting spaces. They need utilities paid. I kind of think about all the time and say, well, if churches, everybody talk about churches are nonprofits, if churches pay taxes, the public treasury would lose more than it would gain, because those churches do a whole lot. I kind of figured up in my mind, I wonder, what's the price, the money value of what my church does, what Reverend Joyner does, and that's how I came up with, man, they better leave that alone, because if churches had to pay taxes, the public treasury would lose way more than it would gain. These churches are doing things. Let me tell you one thing that people don't think that churches do. The health of the community.
Right.
People who sing in church choirs, go ask the health department, they'll tell you those people are happier, healthier, they lose weight, they exercise, just something like that. Churches do socialization kind of projects. I mean, where people can socialize. Think of the people who are retired, don't have anywhere to go. 7 days a week is hard to fill in with activities. Just that few hours, 4 hours that they go to church. Do you comprehend the value of that to our society in terms of dollars and cents of what it means for I know a club of people where the average age is 80. Wow. And they get out of the house 3 days a week. Do you know the value of that kind of thing? So I'm trying to help people to understand what churches do. My pastor friends, man, they are so precious people. Listen, do those guys, they're out there, they don't make a lot of money. These black pastors do not make a lot of money. Like $200, $250 a week, you know, that kind of thing, okay? Now, but they're working, they got after school programs going. I got one pastor friend, he gets his church van and drives over to the school and bring the kids to his church so they wouldn't be in danger of crossing the street.
So the backbone of the community. And so how many would you say were damaged? Is it 5 or more? And
no. Don't.
How dangerous?
Over 10.
Over 10.
Yeah, I could give you a list out of the top of my head. I know 10 churches.
How many are in jeopardy of not reopening?
You know, that's something that we got to look at too. We won't see that. I'm prayerful that all of them are going to be able to come back, but I'm also suspicious that some of them, it's just going to be too tough to rebuild. I got some really good friends. Like one guy, he's a builder. He's built like 4,000 houses. He advises me, he said, you know, some of these places, they're not going to be able to come back. And you got to look at that. And so what we've done and what we're doing with these churches is that we're putting them in touch with like attorneys who are offering pro bono services. And one attorney called me and said, wow, people always talk about he's the baddest attorney in town, but this guy is the baddest attorney in town, okay, in the state.
Okay, good.
And he said, I want to help for free. We're putting in touch. I never heard of a public adjuster, okay? All right, but we brought them to the table, but we also bring in the other adjusters, and let's hear all sides of the story, okay? We were able, our friends are the Red Cross, and I've got the hats off to the Red Cross, Joel over there. They were so gracious because we didn't see the Red Cross listed across the TV screens as one of the agencies to, get in touch with on this disaster. And lots of people were saying, where's the Red Cross? And when I talked to the Red Cross, they were so gracious. They made me feel proud of them. They said, hey, we're out here. This is what we got. We're doing this. We got shelters. We're providing food. Tell people they can go here. And we're not in this to be acknowledged or to be recognized. We're just here to try to help our people. And Ben, we're hearing that all over Nashville.
And I love that. And I love what you were saying about how the churches are kind of so critical in the community. And we've seen a lot of churches with membership declining and that kind of thing. Are you seeing the same thing? Are some of these churches facing some of that same thing? And how are they? How important are they in the community? I guess what are you facing, like all churches are?
I'm not seeing churches as we're hearing out here in the news that churches are declining. Since I was a little boy, churches have grown. There are more Christians. People don't use those terms. See, I think Pew Report said fewer people want to be called Christians, right? That was not a label that people put on themselves. They don't know what a Christian is, all right? They'll say, I go to church. They don't care nowadays about the denomination of the church. That's why I could say about my church, I could take the name Baptist off, okay? But now if I go and ask the church members, can we vote to take it off, they would cry murder. But if I go and print my business card and say Corinthian Church, they'll say, oh, I like that, all right? So, because they don't even know what the denominations mean that much. I argue with that church attendance is on the decline. How do you account for mega churches if it's on the decline? Young people have different habits. And the reports show that the young people, once they reach our older ages, they're going to want their children to have the kind of experiences they had in church. So I'm going to tell you again, there was some guy in history who came to visit America, Churchill, somebody, I don't know. But anyway, he said the greatest thing he discovered in America was its churches. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Black, white. And yes, people are bad. Y'all say that folk go to church are hypocrites. Just think how bad they would be if there was no church. They're bad going to church. Just think how terrible I would be if I didn't have a church or a Savior that I was afraid to embarrass.
All right, we have to take a break. I want to come back and I want to get very specific about how people can help if there are people that are watching. And I want to ask you specifically, where was God in this storm?
Oh yeah, I talked to him. Okay.
Yes, we'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.